Well, hey guys, welcome back to another episode. Today is the day. We are taking the Golf R and we're going to take it to stage 1. That means more power, that means a little bit more sound, that means new wheels and tires. Am I forgetting anything else?
Turbo inlet.
Turbo inlet, intake.
Res delete.
Res delete? Okay.
Brakes.
Okay. No, not big brakes.
Well, they're better.
This is Jeff. Jeff owns Precision Motorworks up here in Santa Clara, which if you don't know where that is, it is about 5.5 hours north of where I'm from. So I loaded the Golf onto a trailer and I dragged it up here behind the van last night so that I was here bright and early this morning. Diesel is in the van, so you'll be seeing him in the video as well. But like I said, today we are going to be working on the Golf, well, more than just today. This week, we're going to be working on the Golf and taking it from its pure bone, stock, unadulterated form, and we're going to bastardize it, kind of, but it's going to be rad. So anyway.
Springs?
Oh yeah, springs. We're lowering it. We're lowering it as
Wheels?
well. No, I already said wheels.
Did you?
I said wheels and tires. Yeah.
Got it.
Jeff reached out to me on Instagram when he saw that I bought the Golf and he was like, hey, we'd love to get involved with the build. We chatted for like 4 hours on the phone, and this place here, I'll show you around as the week goes on, some of the cars that they have in. But yeah, they have some real nice stuff in here. Basically, this is going to be a general overview video. I'm going to show you what goes into taking a stock Golf R all the way up to stage 1 with a few extra little bits as well. And then if you're interested in the real nitty gritty, I'm talking dyno runs, I'm talking data logs, I'm talking all of like the intricate stuff, then go to my sub channel, which will be linked below, and we are going to cover everything that we do in more detail on there. I know a lot of you guys watch this channel for the adventure and all of that kind of stuff, and you're not a car nerd like we are, so we're not going to bore you with that here. But if you are one of us, we'll get you on the sub channel. Also, the reason why I knew that Jeff was the guy to do this work is because, can I see that? See this? This is a modified Seiko. You see this? This is also a modified Seiko. We both have the modding bug, whether it's cars, watches, women, everything. We love it. So well, I only just met him, so I don't know if he's into that, but I am. But anyway, with that being said, let's get on with the build.
So the first thing we did was take the car in for an inspection, and the techs actually found that the water pump was leaking, as was the cam girdle seal. So we went off to Stevens Creek Volkswagen, where everything was replaced under warranty, and they even did a carbon cleaning. So my intake valves went from this to this, and now they are all clean and ready to go.
Well, hey guys, welcome to day 2. Yesterday was kind of a write-off because the car needed to go to Volkswagen for some service stuff, for some warranty repairs, which was actually great because I think it saved me around about $2,000 being able to get it done by Volkswagen under warranty, because this car actually had an extended warranty on it which covered drivetrain and a few other things. So we found that the thermostat, was it the thermostat that was leaking? Yeah. So the water pump assembly, there was some leakage going on there. Also the cam girdle seal had also failed, and so that was leaking too. So that all got taken care of at Volkswagen. They hooked it up, they did it really quick. They actually drove all the way to Fremont to pick up an updated water pump, because the one that they had in stock was one of the same that came off the car, but Volkswagen have since made newer ones. So they actually went all the way to Fremont to get me the most up-to-date one they could find, which was awesome. So Stevens Creek Volkswagen, thank you guys so much. You really hooked us up. And now I know that everything is good for us to start this build process. So right now Brandon is here and he's doing a service on the car. We're going to make sure that everything's good, change all the fluids, and then we're going to hightail it over to 034 Motorsport to do our base dyno run. That's going to give us our base number so we know exactly where we're starting from, and then we just build on top of that. Wrenches are being turned, fingers are getting greasy, not mine because I'm filming, which is great. And yeah, we will keep you up to date with how things go.
With that warranty work done, the only thing left for us to do was perform that service and make sure there was no magic sparkles in the oil, which luckily there were not. So please, before you go modifying your car, make sure you at least do a basic inspection and service just to make sure that you've ruled out any issues that might be made worse by asking for more power out of the car. We knew that this car was good once that warranty work and service was taken care of, so then it was off to 034 for a baseline run on their dyno.
So this is it. I am not allowed to fill this car up with anything other than 91, not that I ever would, but after this tune that we're getting, I cannot fill it up with anything less than 91 ever again. I'm gonna get a beer. Do you want one? Okay, cool. Well, we made it. Here we are at 034 Motorsport. We've got the Golf sitting here looking pretty insignificant, honestly. We've got a fleet of very nice Volkswagens and the Audi TT RS over there. We also have an R8 here that's all stickered up, and you can actually see, oh, in fact, my wheels, my new wheels, are on this Audi R8 right here. So this is what I'm having on the Golf. So I am super stoked on those. They're a forged wheel. They weigh 18 pounds per wheel for an 18-inch rim. The tires are 245/40/18, so that will be a nice upgrade over the stock wheels, both in looks, weight, and also in the performance from those Michelin PS4S that are going on there. So we'll get rid of these. This is on Falcons right now. Nothing against Falcons, but I know and trust Michelins, and so the PS4S are going to be a great addition to this build. It's freezing, it's windy. Let's get inside, let's put this thing on the dyno, and let's see what it does. Here it is. Here's the heartbreaker.
A lot of other tuners or dyno shops will just run it in front wheel drive. So they'll shut off the holodecks and run it in dyno mode. So it's only running front wheel drive, but that can skew your accuracy of data. So we want to run it as it would be on the road.
Exactly.
In our Mustang calibration certainly is on the lower end, and we find that to be the most realistic with every day-to-day driving and how, if you were on the road tomorrow, that's most likely the power you're putting down. Not best case scenario, not worst case scenario, but a very fair average.
And one of the things that we were talking about before we agreed to do all of this and do all the dyno runs is that online there's a lot of talk, arguments about dynos underreading, overreading, whatever. I want to say right now that these figures are just for comparison, right? So we have my car stocked with a full tank of fuel. I just filled it up, the weather like it is today, and we're going to do our before run. We're going to bring it back after we've done the things that we're going to do to it. We're going to put it on the same dyno, hopefully in similar conditions, and then we're going to get our next numbers. So please don't even start in the comments with your, oh, that's too high, that's too low. I'm not interested, and if you guys want to get into it, then take it to the forums. But this is literally just going to be a perfect comparison. It's a measuring tool. And from that, we're going to be able to deduce how much power we've made using the parts that we're going to be putting on, the 034 tune, all the rest of it. I've seen it on the forums over my years of being involved in the aftermarket scene. Let's just take it for what it is. It's a measuring tool, all right? And we're going to see how much power this makes right now, and then we'll come back and we'll see how much power it makes once we've done a few extra little goodies.
It's always exciting getting your car on a dyno to see what power it makes, and Nick had warned me that their Mustang dyno was very conservative, and that's why it's known as a heartbreaker dyno, because people expect bigger numbers than they get. Like I said, we weren't chasing big figures here. I did just want a representation of what power the car was making stock, so that we could then see what gains we got once we installed the software and a few other hard parts. But even so, I wanted to see a number that was pretty close to factory, because obviously that would suggest that the car was healthy and operating well, and a great platform to then start building the rest of this monster supercar slayer build.
The lowest was 249. That was the first run, which would have had the least cooling.
Okay.
Because we were sitting here just kind of chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And then I did 1 minute cool down between the next consecutive runs.
Yeah.
I got 252.5 and then 253.4.
Okay.
So, 249.5 to 253.5.
Okay.
Roughly, 4 horsepower variance.
250, low 250s.
Yep, exactly.
Was very strong as well, very, very level across all three as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a nice flat curve. There's that little dip around 3,500 in the torque. But yeah, I mean, that's a nice looking power curve.
Not bad for a stock car.
Okay, so change of plan. We were going to take this back to the shop, do all the bits, flash it at the shop, and then bring it back for a dyno run. However, because we're here at the headquarters for 034, they have to be careful with how many people come in and out of the building because of the whole COVID thing. And so we're actually going to flash it right now to stage 1, both the ECU and the DSG. So we'll do the gearbox and the engine. Because it's already strapped down on the dyno, same conditions, same day, we're going to get our A to B testing. We are going to see what this now makes with the software installed. So that's what they're doing right now. Jeff's in there flashing it at the moment, and then once that's done, we'll get another run in and we'll see how much power it makes.
At this point in the video, you might be wondering what is with all this 80s synth music, and honestly, I do not know. I'm just vibing with it, so yeah, that's why it's in here. Anyway, we threw the ECU and the TCU tune onto the car, got it on the dyno, and then did back-to-back runs to see just how many horsepowers and torques we were going to gain from this very simple and very cost-effective modification. Remapping a turbocharged car is arguably one of the best modifications you can make to it, and I have done it with every single turboed car that I've owned to date. And the Golf R was no exception, so I was very excited to test out 034's tune and see just how much it transforms this already very, very capable car.
What are we saying?
Things are looking good. Of the 3 runs that I just did, the maximum wheel horsepower was 295.38.
Wow.
So
Wheel horsepower. Okay.
wheel horsepower.
Okay.
Yep. And the maximum torque that we saw between those 3 runs was 334.
Wow. Hey guys, day 3 on the build. Day 1, warranty work. Day 2, tuning and dynoing. Day 3, all of the hardware parts are going on. So we're here at Precision. We're gonna get this thing all dialed in, and by the end of today, hopefully everything will be done. So this is the last time you will see the car looking bone stock. And I've got to admit, I don't normally get along with stock cars for very long. I did 900 miles in this before I decided that I was going to start modifying, but actually I do love the way that these cars look stock. I mean, this is on the stock wheels, everything else. The only thing I've added is these wind deflectors here on the windows, which I do with all of my cars. I don't know why, I quite like how they look. But yeah, in stock form, it's a pretty nice looking car. And if you know what you're looking for, you know it's the R. However, if you didn't know what you were looking for and you were following this thing, other than the fact that it's got the R badge on, which again, you need to know what that means to know it means anything. If you were following this, you might just think it was a regular Golf. Right, so everything you see behind me is what we're going to be installing on the car today, and by we, I mean these guys. So we've got the 034 lowering springs, they'll be going on. We have the Volkswagen Racing air intake. So this is awesome because when it's under the engine bay, as you can see, it matches all of the factory plastic, so it looks OEM. So if anybody was to ever lift the hood and take a look, then they wouldn't necessarily think that it was aftermarket, which is a good thing. I do not want this car to scream that it's been tuned. We're also doing some upgraded coil packs because the standard ones are known for going, especially once you start asking for more power out of the car. New spark plugs. We're doing a DSG service as well. Obviously, we just upgraded the TCU, the transmission control unit, and so we want to make sure that that gearbox is working as good as it can. So we do those. We have black lugs for the wheels because the wheels are coming back from powder coat, and they are a satin black. So we're replacing the silver lugs with black ones. And that's it. Oh, and this, which is the turbo inlet. So this replaces this little guy all the way back here. So yeah, that's going on as well. Okay, so we're just about to do the turbo inlet. So this is the stock plastic turbo inlet, and as you can see, it kind of tapers off. So it goes from this diameter to this diameter, and it does like a gradual taper down. Whereas the 034 part is actually a consistent diameter all the way with a little step down ring right as you get to the turbo inlet itself. So this reduction in restriction should hopefully give us a couple of extra horsepowers. And even if it doesn't, it looks cool. Well, look at this. Is this not service with a smile? Nick here has come all the way from 034 to bring the sway bar because you were having some issues with the shipping system, and so we weren't able to get it yesterday when we actually got there to do the dyno run. And as we're in the middle of doing all the install, Nick very kindly decided to drive it over. So
absolutely,
that's awesome.
It's no problem whatsoever. While you're up here, there's no reason to not throw this on, especially if we have the rear suspension kind of hanging out. It gives you easy space to throw on this pretty significant upgrade to the car's handling.
Nick is just leaving, having dropped off the sway bar, and this thing has an insane launch control on it that they're just doing sort of like some development work on, but apparently it's going to be available in my platform relatively soon. So just have a listen to this. I'm going to keep mine pretty OEM. I don't want it to draw attention to itself, and it's going to do this. That thing is 450 horsepower, and yeah, that's a new launch control that they've been working on. So he's like, yeah, we can definitely install that in yours when we do stage 2. You guys are a bad influence. Yes, we are. Bad influence. Also, sorry about the lens spots, the water spots on the lens. Also, I was just chatting, and then all of a sudden, Brandon's like, yeah, so LED lights and some other stuff, and I was like, wait, what? And then Jeff's like, oh yeah, we're gonna replace all of your lights with new LED upgraded ones.
Interior lights to all LED, and then the exterior, we're going from the HID to an LED conversion through Lucas Lighting, which is a new LED technology company that's started about 1.5 years ago with friends of ours.
All right, so we're here at Audio Design, where Lucas Lighting are also based, and we're gonna pick up my LED lights, which are pretty cool. So we get some upgraded LED bulbs in the Golf, so it retains all the stock stuff, but you just get extra visibility, which, not that mine suck, but if some is good, more is better.
Couple shirts for you.
Ooh, merch.
You got your bulb adapters for your headlights. We got your 9007s for the van. And we got your low and high beams. So H15s and H7s all in LED.
Oh yeah.
So.
Awesome, can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the guys here from Elite Auto Films tinting the Golf now while the mechanics are on their breaks, so that we can kind of get the car done as quickly as possible. But I just want to take a look at this because this is the Racing Line air intake. I called it Volkswagen Racing. That's what they used to be called. Now they are Racing Line, I've been informed. But yeah, so we've got the Racing Line air intake in there. And now that we've got the engine cover on, look how factory that looks. I mean, obviously this is kind of a little bit cleaner now than this, but once this gets a little bit of road grime on it and, you know, starts to wear in and get some heat cycles through it, that looks so stock. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then again, down here, you've got the turbo elbow from 034. You just see the logo right there, but again, super stealthy. Yeah, so really, really nice. And yeah, complements the standard factory stuff that comes with the car very nicely. Explain to us what a Resonator delete is, sir.
Resonator delete. So Resonator's job is to remove the resonance from your exhaust that gets into the chassis of the car and makes this thing hum going down the freeway. So as part of Volkswagen trying to make this thing work with everybody, a hot hatch for everyone to own, they add this in combination with the muffler to give you a very quiet exhaust system. So what we do is we cut out the resonator itself, weld in a pass-through pipe, so you get a straight flow from your catalytic converter straight through to the muffler. Arguable performance gains, but noticeable sound gains. You're gonna get a little bit of different sound effect from the exhaust. You're actually gonna be able to hear it out the back end. And for usually $100 is what most exhaust shops are gonna charge for this, just to cut it out and weld in a piece of pipe. I mean, it's a great and inexpensive mod. It does wonders for your car because it feels good when you accelerate. You don't have to listen to that sound ductor hit. You're gonna hear a little bit of a growl coming through your exhaust note, and it's gonna give you that visceral experience whenever you accelerate hard. So for that kind of money, it's worth doing.
It is time. We've got the car out of the shop. Everything has been done to it now. It is finished and it's on the dyno. So we're about to see what the post modification stage 1 with a few extra little bits makes. I haven't driven the car yet, so I have no idea. But yeah, hopefully it makes a few extra ponies. So we were hoping for that 300 plus wheel horsepower. I made 294, I believe, last time. So yeah, let's hope that it makes over the 300 now that we've got the air intake, the turbo elbow, and that resonator delete, and the uprated coils and new spark plugs, and we've done the carbon cleaning and everything. So fingers crossed that will make that extra few little horsepowers to get us over that 300 mark. But Jeff's on the phone, but once he's off, we're gonna have a little bet and we're gonna see what this makes.
So the bets were made, and Nick said he thought that it would make 300 given that the weather was a little bit warmer and we were also on the bigger wheels and tyres. Jeff said 302, and I was ever the optimist with 305 wheel horsepower.
Okay, the numbers are in. What do we got?
All right, so we did a couple passes here just to get everything warmed up, and it's looking like 303 was the max after the correction. The lowest was 298. So, you know, once it got warmed up, we got just over 300.
Disclaimer, your torque's looking a little lower than when we did just the stock one, stock in stage 1. I think our highest was 330 on foot-pounds of torque. We're at 313 pretty steadily. All of that can come down to air temperature change. Right. The fact that you're still on a stock intercooler and it's substantially warmer today certainly can inhibit that kind of change. So I just because that's going to be a difference in power and torque, I want to make sure that we understand a lot of variables changed here. Also, torque can reduce by the lever of your wheel. We've increased the tire size as well, which changes the rolling diameter, so it can pull some torque out of it because you're moving more. All of those are variables that we need to consider, but we do still see that horsepower bump as well. So I don't want you to think, oh, an intake made me lose torque. That's not happening.
No, for sure. And that's what I was saying in the beginning, guys, is like, this isn't to give you like definite, this is what your car will make. This is just a measuring tool for us, and you know, unfortunately we couldn't do everything on the same day in the exact same conditions. That would have been preferable, but as you see, we did a lot to this car in just a few days. So Jeff and the guys over at Precision have been working flat out, and when I say flat out, I mean they've been working till 11 o'clock at night getting this thing ready so that we could bring it back and do this run. So I will go on a dyno tour and we will do multiple different runs, and we'll see what the most power we can get out of this is on different dynos. But yeah, I mean, you can see that there's definitely an increase over stock with the tune, and then on a cold day, hopefully we would see that torque come back up again, and then it would show us that actually all of these things have increased. And you were saying as well that this intake, realistically, we're going to see the most benefit from it on a stage 2. Correct?
For the most part, yeah. Okay. So intakes don't add power, they reduce restrictions. So as you start to request more from the turbocharger, if your intake makes it harder for you, think of a big and small straw, you used that analogy earlier in the week. If you have more air being requested through and you don't have a good pathway to suck it through, you're going to have restriction and it's going to pull power. Whereas this intake allows the most free-flowing air possible, which doesn't have that restriction, so it can make the power that it wants to make.
Numbers are in. So we had,
I bet 300.
300?
302.
302. I did 305.
Yes, sir.
The final numbers were 302 or 303 and 313 wheel torque. So 302 horsepower, 313 wheel torque.
You win. See you buy lunch.
Oh, shit. Awesome. Lunch it is at Alice's up on 84. We'll have a good day.
Lovely.
So yeah, what we're going to do now is we'll get the car off the dyno and we'll get it back to Jeff's shop. We'll give it a clean because I don't want to see it grubby for you guys. We'll show you what it looks like all said and done, and then we'll say our goodbyes, and then I've got to drive all the way back down to Orange County. Those wheels look so good. Who am I kidding? There was absolutely no chance that I wasn't going to want to go on a drive immediately after this car came off the dyno. So we have Jeff in front and we have another Jeff behind in his classic Porsche, and we're headed up to a place called Alice's. I don't know what Alice's is, but that's where we're headed. Apparently it's some fun little driving roads. I wanted to leave here about 10 minutes ago because I have to drive 6.5 hours back home to drop off the trailer tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. But I can't be here all week, get all this work done, and then not go out and enjoy it. So if I'm driving till midnight, I'm driving till midnight. But right now, we're gonna go and enjoy the hell out of these cars. Feels good, definitely feels good. I haven't had a chance to put my foot down yet, so I don't know how good, but I can already hear like a little bop, 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 bop from the exhaust. It's not too loud, but it's definitely got a bit of bass to it, which is nice. And that's as much as I can tell you, because I haven't managed to do anything else with it. It looks great. I'll show you once we get up there, I'll show you it. It isn't going to be clean, but you just have to deal with it. This is a driver's car. This is no show pony, trailer queen, whatever they call them. So yeah, let's head up there now and see what she's got. I've switched over to the GoPro because I think we found the roads that we're supposed to be driving, and they look pretty good. They're pretty twisty. So I do not want to be hand holding my big camera, so I will be mouth holding this one so you guys can get a real feel for what it's like to be a driver of a Stage 1 tuned Mark 7 Golf R. Because that's what I've got. So my first impressions are there is a lot more torque than I had before. Before it was quick and it was linear quick, but it felt like it was quick more towards the top end, like once you revved it out. Now, right from low down, like probably 3,000 RPM, whoo, buddy, does it get after it. So yeah, I can definitely feel all that torque down low that Nick was showing us on that dyno graph. And wow, yeah, it sounds good too. The exhaust definitely has woken it up, which it needed, because it didn't sound all that great, but now definitely does. Oh, this is magic. I love it, I love it, I love it. Oh, no shifts. I can definitely feel the increase in the shift speed, the response on the paddle. I mean, there wasn't a lag before, but now there's definitely no lag. So obviously I've got that rear sway bar on here now, so I can definitely feel the whole car has been stiffened up. I mean, the roads are pretty greasy, so it's not like we're pushing it that hard, but the whole feeling of the car is that it's just better screwed together. Now that might sound weird because it was always a very well-made car, but everything just feels that bit tighter. Like, it feels how it should have felt out of the factory. And I had no complaints, 0 complaints beforehand, but now it just really feels purposeful and yeah, just like very responsive. Everything, the steering feels tighter, feels more responsive, the throttles feels more responsive, the power is there from way low down. Ooh, and this is just stage 1. Can you imagine what it's going to be like stage 2 and then stage 3? Wild. I don't know if you can hear that on the GoPro, but now on the downshifts, there are these very nice like pops and burbles. Not that firecracker, like gunshot pops and burbles, which I believe this will probably get in stage 2, but it's like just a natural kind of exhaust rumble, which is really nice. Jeff, I don't mean to throw you under the bus here, mate, but I was short shifting there at about 4,000 RPM and I was still catching you. You have built me a monster. I feel like I am in the UK right now. I do. This all looks very familiar. I could quite easily, in fact, if you haven't seen the video that I did up north back in January of last year, go and check that out, because we stopped off at a place up in the Yorkshire Dales or wherever we were that looked just like this when we were doing the crazy diesels. So yeah, look at that for a lineup though. That is not bad. Oh, and by the way, here is the car finished. I haven't showed you this yet, have I? So we have the 034 forged wheels, which just look epic. I am so pleased with how these turned out. So I had these powder coated this color, and oh my goodness, look at those. They are phenomenal. So this is a 1 of 1. Nobody else has them in this color. 1 of 1 set. And then we went for the gloss black roof. So this is a gloss black wrap. And then I went with this, which is the satin sun strip with the gloss black X's that you can just about make out. So they're very subtle, but when you stood back here, you can kind of see them. But yeah, it just, all of the black now just ties it all together. Obviously the tints as well, just kind of, oh, just look at that. How much better does that look? And obviously this will settle as well, so the suspension will probably sink down a little bit more as the springs settle. They've only just gone on, but it looks good. This might be one of my most favorite parts. I had them leave this edge silver and run the wrap all the way up to the edge, and that just, so these little details that I love. But yeah, I like it.
Yeah?
I like it.
I'm stoked.
You have done an
I'm
epic
stoked.
job. The boys have done an epic job.
Stage 1 is a success.
Yes.
Stage 1 with some
Little bits.
little pretty bits here
Stage
and there.
1
just to-
plus.
Yeah, just to give you the tint and the wraps and the
Exactly.
custom logos and all that good stuff, and the powder coat, just things that take time. And then 2 is obviously a quick, easy boom boom.
And 3 is a big boom
Well,
boom.
you know, let's see, because based on what they're talking about, we don't have to do what I do with other brands with Stage 3, where I have to tear down the lower end, replace connecting rods, pistons, the whole 9. This Stage 3 with 034 doesn't require as much. So let's go for it.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get out of it.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
So far, you're jamming this thing right up my car's tailpipe
So
as we're playing around.
I'll,
So
I'll wait for you to watch the video, because I left you a little message in there
great.
as I was behind you. I won't tell you what I said.
I know what it is. I guarantee I know what it is.
You'll see. All I'll say is short shifting. Yeah, that's all. But no, I mean, the beauty of this is that if you look at what we've done, yes, we've put the intake on. Yes, we've done the Resonator Delete's not big. We've done the turbo elbow. But if you were just to come in with a Golf R and say, hey, I want a bit more power and I want it to look more mine,
Right.
then it's like you throw on some software, you do the Resonator Delete, that's 150 bucks,
Yep.
and then you throw on a set of springs and wheels, and you've essentially got what I've got here.
100%.
I mean, the air intake, as we saw today on the dyno, it adds more power at the top end, and that's more future-proofing it for the Stage 2 and the Stage 3.
Correct.
You don't need it.
No.
You can run it on the stock airbox and it will make
Absolutely.
pretty much the same power.
You can actually go onto Amazon and order a K&N drop-in filter and get really close to the same gains you're getting with what you have now.
Mate, thank you so much.
Heck yeah.
So much. 034, thank you guys so much. Michelin, Elite Auto Films. I was like, I know it's EAF, it's Elite as but I don't know.
That's what I always say.
But I'm like, Elite, what is it? Elite Auto
Auto
Films.
Films.
Thank you for the tints and the wrap, and yeah, for the
Brothers Wheel Repair took care of the powder coating.
I feel like a motocross racer, you know, and they win the race, and it's like, oh, I just want to thank all of my sponsors, and they're drinking like a big old like monster. But no, seriously,
This lighting for the LED
Yes.
upgraded headlights.
oh yeah. But everybody that has been involved in this build, thank you all so much. Can't wait for the next stage. Thank you guys for watching at home. If you're in the area or not, and you want to do what I did and trailer your car, I'm going to leave all of Precision's details in the description. Give them a follow on Instagram, give them a shout, and even if you just want advice on what you should do, this guy, he's brilliant, and he'll let you know.
Spend all
He's
the
got,
time you want.
I was going to say, he's got years of experience. So yeah, use their experience, come use the shop, and that's it, guys. I got to drive 6.5 bloody hours home now in a slow ass van, trailer in this thing.
Yeah, but you got your buddy with you.
That's true, I got
You got
diesel.
dog.
Yeah. So we will do some proper driving episodes, don't you worry. This has been obviously a quickie up the mountain, so to speak, because I need to get back home. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, give this a big thumbs up. That really helps with the whole algorithm thing. Subscribe if you haven't. I would love to see you here again. Make sure you check out the sub channel, because we have more detailed videos on what we did with the car on the sub channel. Again, everything will be linked in the description, so go and check it out. And I guess that's it, guys. So remember, until next time, don't do anything I wouldn't do. See ya.